Hi, this is Lola Laracy. This is the Friday Night Hangout from Craft Beer Nation. We are live with myself and the lovely Linda Dean. Now, I'm a little bit embarrassed because I'm normally the one who says, "Oh, did you read the description?" Well, it was there in the description. And I'm like the librarian who's all like, "Well, you need to read." Well, I didn't read. I didn't read our description for today at all. I was in the bottle shop with my phone and I just looked. Actually, all I did was I looked at our list, our spreadsheet, and it said hybrid beers. And so I said, "Oh, okay, like two beers put together, whatever." So I got something that's basically like two beers meshed together. But apparently, if I had read the description, I would have realized I am totally off base. Linda, why don't you tell me why I'm off base?
Apparently, hybrids. Our topic is hybrids, alt beers. Hybrids are actually ales made with lager yeast or lagers that are made with ale yeast, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Now I can see in some of the descriptions from dummies.com that
Thanks, Gil.
that hybrids can include alt beers, California common beers known as steam beers, cream ales, and Kolsches.
Okay.
So I guess two beers just kind of put together doesn't really fit, and unless it fits into one of those categories, or it's it's an ale made with lager yeast or a lager made with ale yeast.
Mine doesn't. I have a hoppy wheat beer, but it's good. It's one of our favorite breweries. It's Boulevard. So
Boulevard.
I've got my summer wheat glass. I've been waiting for like 8 months to break this out. So you know what? I may be off style, off kilter, but it's perfect for our 4th of July weekend. So
excellent.
Have that.
Well, I do have one beer that is totally on style.
Nice.
This is Altbier from Occidental Brewing, and hilarious story.
Okay, good.
I picked up this can and I thought, oh wow, this isn't from America. This has got to be from Europe, right? Because of the can label and Occidental Brewing, and I thought best East or West was probably some play on words.
Germany, East Germany, West Germany, not communist. It is communist.
I thought it might be some play on words. Well, yeah, joke's on me. I apologize, Occidental Brewing. You guys are in Portland.
Not Portland, Germany?
Not Portland, Germany. Portland, Oregon.
Oh, all right.
I should have known that. I really should have known that, but I've never had anything from Occidental Brewing. So this is actually going to be my very first time trying Occidental Brewing.
Nice. Maybe you
as well as trying an alt beer.
I know. You maybe should have saved that for 2 weeks from now.
I've got millions of beers I haven't tried yet. Okay, maybe not million.
All right. At least 100, right?
At least 100. Okay, this pours a nice deep amber with lots of carbonation, and the head seems to be sticking around a bit. Not too. It's going away. It's got some light lacing on it.
Okay.
It smells really malty. And
nice.
from what I read about alt beers, that's pretty typical. It's supposed to be really heavily malty.
Okay.
Yeah, if I didn't know better, I'd think this was an ESB.
All right. And I learned I like ESBs a lot. Cool.
And this actually has a strong hop presence, which you know what? I'm the resident expert that loves to be corrected. So if anybody out there can tell me whether a strong hop presence is good in an alt beer or not, I'm happy to be corrected. But there is a pretty big hop presence in the back of this alt beer.
Well, and see, when I think about European style beers, I don't really think of hoppiness. Now that could just be my ignorance, because God knows I'm ignorant enough most of the time.
Well, I have my other one. You want me to break out my other one?
Well, before we do that, we would love some feedback from people. I would say I'm on Craft Beer Nation's Twitter, but I don't feel like looking up the password because it would take time, and I'm supposed to be hosting this thing. But I'm on my own Twitter, and I'm looking at CBN's profile. So if you want to tell us on Twitter, some other beers that you like that are Altbier or steam beer or any kind of hybrid beer, tweet us, Google Plus us, YouTube us, whatever. Let us know. We'll discuss it on air. All right, Linda, go ahead and break open your next beer.
Well, I was also wondering, Anchor steam beer, that's a California common, isn't it?
Well, according to this description, I would think so. It says it's a steam beer. And
Anchor, yeah, it's Anchor. Man, Anchor is solid when it comes to, Anchor steam beer. I could drink that a lot.
That's one of the best. And it's also one of the oldest here, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
So that makes me think, they've been doing it a long time. They got to do it right, I would hope.
Yeah. Okay, my second beer is actually pretty borderline. Now, I went as far as to call the brewer. This one is El Guapo from my favorite local brewery, Flat Tail, here in Corvallis.
Okay.
And Dave is the head brewer for Flat Tail. And he told me that this is actually a type of cream ale. It lists itself as a blonde, but the blonde is just the base beer. So I'm assuming he's saying we used a cream ale yeast.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I hope I'm not. But El Guapo has cucumber, lime, and habaneros in it.
That's a lot in one beer.
That makes this an absolutely spectacular summer beer.
I've never seen that color. That's it's orangey than most beers I've seen. It's
well, it's really pale. Well, in my light, it's really pale, like a straw yellow, really pale straw yellow leading into the orange type.
Uh-huh.
Man, you can really smell the habaneros in this. Some really interesting tidbits about El Guapo is that all the habaneros for this beer are are grown and made into an extract less than 4 miles from the brewery. All of them. The cucumbers and limes, although we wish we could source them locally, are brought into the brewery and they're processed at the brewery. It takes 8 people, 8 constant hours to peel and juice all the limes and all the cucumbers by hand to put in the beer.
Oh my. So you need to appreciate that.
Yeah. This beer takes a lot of effort.
Yes. Do you pay for that? Is it expensive beer?
Not really. Actually, it's El Guapo is a pretty commonplace bomber. I definitely got it for less than 10.
Okay.
And it is a really good deal, especially if you like chili. Here's the borderline part. Dave said if he were to enter this beer in a competition, he would enter it as a chili beer.
Okay.
So, the cream, blonde, light hybrid, that's what I'm calling it.
Mm-hmm.
Dave would call it a chili beer because there's an enormous amount of chili presence in it. And then there's a little bit of salt and cucumber and lime. Not enough to make me think margarita, but definitely a really good complement to the chilies.
So it's not tart, like, say, a margarita or something.
No, you can actually taste the blonde, the very light blonde. It tastes almost lagerish on the back end, but then it just comes at you with all the chili and the cucumber and all the taste.
Okay. So it's got kind of like that smooth backbone, but then it kind of rides in with the chili and the spiciness.
Exactly.
Well, I like this because not only, the blonde part is a hybrid, as we discussed, but then you have it's a hybrid with a different beer, a chili. So it's like hybrid and hybrid.
Yes. Yes. I'm almost tempted to mix this with some grapefruit sculpin.
Interesting. Hybrid.
Because I don't have any habanero sculpin. So I'd really like to see how the two of them taste together with this really strong habanero presence.
Well, I say go for it. That's what science is for. We're experimenting.
Exactly.
That's how great things come about.
Well, those are pretty much all the beers I have.
You know what? I went to the beer store today. I'm surprised. I actually only spent $30. I think they may have given me the industry discount. Sometimes they do. I think they may have. Because I only paid like $35. And not only did I have a beer at the bar, but I got 12 other beers, including a bomber.
Oh, really?
So, I know. So $35 isn't bad. But
no, not bad at all.
No, I got so many beers. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, did I get anything that meets this criteria? I can't even tell you what I got. I got so much stuff. Well, I'll go ahead, even though this is not on style, I'll still go ahead and talk about my beer a little bit. This is a hoppy wheat beer, and I can be particular about hoppiness. I don't like hoppiness when it's just, it feels like a bale of hay in your mouth. I don't like that.
A kick in the teeth.
Right. I can't do that. I have a hard time with that. I like light hoppiness. Or, like I like double IPAs or whatever, where there's a lot of malt too, and it's
when you're talking about hoppiness, are you talking about the hop flavor, or are you talking about the hop bitterness?
The bitterness. It's the bitterness that I have a hard time with. And the good thing about this beer, I was worried because sometimes when they hop up a otherwise mild beer, it's just too much for me. But the hoppiness it's not bitter. It's not bitter at all. It gives it a little bit more of a kick so that it doesn't feel like a mild wheat beer. Sometimes wheat beers can be too mild for me, and it's like, why am I drinking this, But this gives it enough oomph where, it's like a summer beer, but, it's still kind of winking at you going, yeah, we still have something going on here. It's not just a wheat beer. So I actually do like this, even though it's not on style. But once again, it's 80 Acre from Boulevard.
Lovely. So it's a friends with benefits beer.
Exactly. You got your spouse that you love, and they're there every day, and you rely on them. That's the wheat. But then you get a little something extra on the weekend, and the little hoppy kick, and you're like, it makes you remember why you're doing it all to begin with. You can quote me on that. I
will definitely quote you on the internet.
Well, speaking of spouses, please thank your husband. How does he pronounce his name? Che?
Che.
Thank him. He has actually been helping us out on this side. Apparently our screen was stuck on Craft Beer Nation, and he said it was fixed. Unfortunately, it's been stuck this last 10 minutes because I had you white box, Linda, which was perfect when you were talking, but I realized when I was talking it was probably kind of weird. So that...
Well, I try to be polite in public, so I don't think people, caught me doing anything yucky.
No, probably not. I hope not. Well, nothing worse than what I've done on air, so, no. One time I was on air and I had my hand like this, and I realized in the playback that it looked like I was picking my nose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. And I almost commented, like, I'm not picking my nose, but then if I did, I was like, it's going to make it look more like I was picking my nose. So I didn't say anything. All right, so let's see if we have any other comments. Let's look at Twitter, see if we have anything. All right.
Yeah, I have a recommendation from somebody on my Twitter.
Sure.
Surly Furious.
Is that the person's name or the beer?
No, that's the beer, Surly
Oh.
Furious. I don't know if that's a hybrid or not, but that's definitely their recommendation for trying a hybrid.
That is an awesome name. How do you spell that?
Surly, Surly,
Mhm.
Furious.
Furious?
That's right.
Surly Furious.
Yeah.
Those are two words that, I mean, even though it's just odd to have them together. Surly Furious.
Now I've heard of surly beers, but I've never attempted to try Furious. But thanks, Jim, for putting that in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, are there any beers that you haven't had that you think would fall into this style that you think you would like to try?
I'm really not. My knowledge of hybrids is so limited that I really don't know if I actually have any. Besides, I mean, there are local beers that might be considered hybrids, but I can't remember the names of them.
Me neither. Well, I'm very happy we have Charles. I think he probably felt sorry for us, which
Hey
is
guys.
easy to do.
Charles, you came to save us.
Thank you, Charles, because we ran out of steam.
Oh, that's
Ba-ba-dum,
fine.
ba-ba-dum.
Yeah, the local town's fireworks were going off, so they just
Oh,
finished a few minutes ago. I wouldn't. All you would have heard was like bombs dropping. It's so close to my house.
it would have been like a reenactment,
Come
4th of
Yeah,
on.
July, 17, whatever.
Bombs,
yeah,
beer,
Oh,
Murica.
I know, it would be perfect. You know,
yep.
we just need barbecue. So, Charles, what do you
So
have to say? Huh?
I missed what you guys were drinking.
Well, I'm off style because I failed to look at the description. It's my fault.
I think
Linda. Mhm.
I think there's only one that I actually had that was actually on style, and that was Occidental's Altbier. And
Okay, I did see
I
that.
didn't even realize that Occidental was in Portland. I thought they were somewhere in Europe.
Hmm.
Maybe there's a portal in Portland. Maybe that's why they call it Portland. It has a portal to Europe, and that's where they get the beer. I can explain away anything. That's
Yeah.
my superpower. I can justify anything. All right. Well, Charles, why don't you tell us about your beer, and please drop any information you have on our styles tonight, because
Sure.
Gil gave us a link to dummies.com, but I don't have time to read it. Too long, didn't
Yeah,
read.
I'm not as well versed on the hybrids either.
Mhm.
From what I was reading earlier, it seems to be a combination of ale and lager,
Mhm.
like
We got that
brewing an
one.
ale with lager yeast or brewing a lager with ale yeast, that kind of thing. And just looking at the styles, it seems to be the Kolsch, the Altbier, like which Linda has, and apparently the California Common. And the beer I have falls into the California Common um, category. And this is a beer I've only had once before. It is I guess, an iconic beer. I could not drink it the very first time I ever had it. It was just so completely foreign to my palate at the time. So I'm actually having it now for the second time ever. And this is the Anchor Steam.
We were
Yes, there
talking
it is.
about
Yeah,
that.
I was wondering if that was actually if that was California Common.
Yeah, this, from what I was reading, falls into that category.
So
Um,
you didn't like it previously?
no, I couldn't even finish the bottle. It was so horrible.
Oh
But I've
wow.
never had a steam beer ever in my life, so. And it's beautiful looking, you know?
It is pretty amber
Yeah.
It
color.
is. I love the head on it.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty nice. As far as it's drinkable now, but this is about 3 to 4 years later, I think.
Mhm.
There's really not a lot to it. I mean, there's flavor there, um, but there's just something odd, and I don't know if it's just the steam, whatever they do there. It's just very strange. But I have to say, I guess my palate has expanded and matured enough. There goes an ambulance.
I guess someone had an incident. We had the safety
Probably.
training at work.
Yeah, so I guess from all the different beers that I've tried, because when I first tried this, I was just like heavy into every IPA that I could find on the planet. So this is such a departure from that. It was probably not a good time to just throw a steam beer right in the middle of double and triple IPAs. But this isn't bad. I ended up having to buy a mixed 12-pack from Anchor. So I've got the steam, the lager, the Liberty Ale, and the IPA.
Oh, I love
So I
that
figured-
IPA.
Yeah, I think I've had it once, but I have to double check. I'm a big fan of their Liberty Ale.
It's really odd that the steam beer actually really puts me in mind of actually traveling on an original steam locomotive, and the smells that you get from the engine, like the engine oil, the lubricants. It really reminds me of that. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and this apparently was like one of the biggest styles of beer pre-Prohibition, from what I was reading. This, and there's I think it's a Kentucky Common, which a local brewery here makes, called Common Sense. They found an old, supposedly pre-Prohibition recipe of it and brought that particular version back. But they're pretty light. They're pretty drinkable. I guess now that I do find this, pleasing, I can go out and hunt down some other steam style beers, because I've gotten nowhere near them since that first couple of sips a few years back. But I couldn't find anything else. The only Kolsch's available were the 2 Kolsch's I brought the last time we did Kolsch's a couple of years ago, which were the 2 pictures I posted in the event page earlier. That's from the last time we did these kind of beers.
Yeah, I brought Flat Tails El Guapo. It probably would have been more on style if I had brought Flat Tails Kolsch, but I've already said so much about Flat Tails Kolsch, I didn't want to go over it one more time.
Sure. But I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I had the opportunity to give this beer a try again, because I probably would have kept walking past it if not for us revisiting this, hybrid styles tonight. So I'm glad that I have, because now I know I can buy this 12-pack whenever I want, because I'm not going to say, oh, there's 3 beers totally wasted. It's actually not too bad. I love their bottles. They have such a different shape to them than your typical 12-ounce. And they always have great labels, Anchor.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, great artwork.
Yeah.
I always thought the steam came from it being like, Huckleberry Finn time. I always thought, like, I don't know, steam engine, steam whatever, I don't know. I never realized that was actually part of the style. I just thought it was part of the name. So, shows you how much I know.
Yeah, this was first brewed in 1896 originally, and then the first modern bottling was in 1971.
Okay. So, and that company, that's been around since 1896?
I don't know if Anchor's been around that long, or if this style. I think Anchor was, and then was gone, and then came back. I'd have to look it up.
So maybe not continuous. But I know they're pretty dang old.
Yeah, because their Liberty Ale is like the first single hop, dry hopped beer in America.
Oh, really?
And, yeah.
So they're trendsetters.
Oh yeah, and that was way back as well. Before that was before Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale.
And they started, what, 30 years ago, Sierra Nevada?
Yeah, Anchor predates them.
Okay.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada actually has an alt beer from their beer camp called Victory Beer Camp Alt Root. And apparently I really liked it. On Untapped, I gave it a 4.5. So if anybody has any of those bottles hanging around, you may want to try it.
I like how you don't remember doing it, because that happens to me all the time. I'm looking at Untapped. Well, the worst thing is I paid a lot of money for a bottle of something a few months ago because I thought, oh, I've never had this. I've heard such great things about it. And so I drank it, and of course, I really did like it. But when I checked into it Untapped, it said I'd had it before. So apparently I didn't need to pay all that money, because I was like,
Well, beer camp was so many different things all at once, and I think I had one bottle every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did that too when that pack came out, and that was a lot of different kind of things, like different styles put together. There's a lot of interesting stuff in that box set. I am looking mine up now to see what I gave that one as well.
Now I know Rape Beer has a list of alt beers, but there are a few that I'm not sure qualify as alt beers, because, like, Alaskan Amber, I don't think Alaskan Amber would qualify as an alt beer.
Not if it's just an amber.
The taste is nothing like a really heavy malty old style type beer, at least not to me. But definitely the Occidental alt beer has that really thick malt presence to it.
And your husband Che, I keep saying your husband Che, I should just say Che. He piped in. He says Liberty Ale is a great beer. Thank you, Che. I think we agree.
So was it the alt route? Is that the one you were talking about?
Yes.
Linda,
yes, for Beer Camp, yes.
Apparently I gave that 3.5 stars.
Well,
out of
that's
5,
that's
I liked it.
respectable.
Yeah, so I liked it.
Yeah, I hate it when I'm checking into something and I have a more favorable view of it than I did previously. I'm always like, I must have just been in a bad mood when I had it before,
Well, not especially because, as beer people, our tastes in beer change. Just like tastes in food will change. You may like chocolate really well one year, and just the next year you want key lime pie. That's all you want. This year, for some reason, hops has been a big thing with me. So pale ales, and especially IPAs, trying new IPAs has been a big thing with me, and I really appreciate them. But when I started out, I really wanted, malty, I wanted soft, I wanted wheat, I wanted, something that wasn't going to slap me in the face with hops.
Well, and see, up until recently, I've always liked malty beers the most, and the higher ABV, just the heartier beers, I guess you'd say. But something happened to me this year, just my stomach, maybe it's just my age, I don't know, but something happened, and I started to feel sick. I was like, so when I went to the store this time, I got a lot of gozes and wheat beers. I got a lot of lighter beers because I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe it's just the heat. It could be the heat, but I just feel like
we usually prefer different beers and different temperatures as well.
So yeah, we'll see. I got some light beers, so we'll see. I'll probably go mad and be like, I want my malty beers again, and I'll go back to the store and spend another $35. I'm sure the store will like that.
Sure. But,
well, I know oh, sorry. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I was hoping some of our other home brewers were on to see if any of them have even made any of these styles. I don't know if you haven't tackled any of these, have you, Linda?
I have one. My ginger cookie Kolsch is a Kolsch. It definitely fits a style, but it's got lots of ginger in it, and it kind of tastes like you're chewing into a ginger cookie.
Wow.
Sounds good to me.
I have to be very careful with it because the actual ginger presence actually mellows me out so much it makes me want to go to sleep.
Oh.
But yet the alcohol is below 6%. So.
Yeah, you would think it wouldn't make you go to sleep.
Yeah, it's definitely ginger has a mellowing effect on me. But it's a very nice Kolsch. You can definitely tell that it's a Kolsch. And it wasn't difficult to brew at all. Kolsches are fairly easy.
Nice.
All right. I feel like I was gonna say something. Oh, I was gonna say I had an interesting time at the brew store at the bottle shop this morning because I was off today, so I was gonna go there and just kind of sit there during lunchtime and drink beer. Well, I got there. Google said they opened at 11, so I got there before 11, and I waited, and I waited. So after a while, I gave up and went to Starbucks, and then I went to their website and saw that it said they opened at 12. So I went back at 12, and I waited, and I waited, and finally the guy who owns it opened the door, and he said, "I'm so sorry, we're opening late. You know, the person who's supposed to be here had to call in because there's a death in the family." So I basically got the bar stool off the stack, got my own bar stool, put it up to the bar, sat there. He hadn't done anything yet. I mean, nothing was unstacked, nothing was open. They didn't have anything out. And he just gave me like the very last bit of the beer he had on tap. I can't remember. It was a Saison. I don't remember what it was. But he gave me the little bit of that on the house, and I just sat there and watched him open.
Oh, that's actually pretty pleasant.
I know. He was just talking and stuff. It was just interesting. I felt like, like an old hand or something, sitting at the bar stool, just talking about life and everything. Except for usually at that case, it's when they're closing,
Yeah.
not when they're opening. But it was still kind of neat. I was like, all right, I can handle this. Oh, and he also, when people started to come in, he gave everyone shots of something. I asked him to repeat it twice, but all I got was that it was an aperitif. But it was,
Yeah, an aperitif is kind of it can be like an appetizer, or it can be more. Usually, it's a drink after a dinner or after lunch.
yeah, I tried to figure out what kind of alcohol it was, but he kept
Was it really
saying
sweet?
yes.
Yeah, it's usually pretty sweet. Something to like round out the whole day.
Yeah, it was still too much for me. He downed his, but I said I'm gonna have to sip mine. So it was kind of cool because like I would sip it and it had like a strong mint taste, and then I drink some of the saison, so I ended up having a very minty saison.
Oh, it's actually pretty interesting.
It actually was kind of cool. I was like, all right, and they're like, got the mint and then get the saison. I was like, okay. So after the course of half an hour, I drank it. So
Yeah.
I'm a lightweight when it comes to like real alcohol, so which is good.
That's perfectly acceptable to sip on an aperitif.
Okay, good. 'Cause that's what I did. I had my little saison and my little aperitif. I just thought that was an amusing story. All right, so Charles, do you have another beer?
No, I do not have any others on this style. I'm not sure. I have others in the refrigerator. They're going to be. I'm still trying to decide what to have after this, but this is the only thing I have on style tonight.
Well, and I'm not even on style tonight, so I kind of ruined that from the beginning. I
And
don't
I have
think
no more. I don't have any more recommendations coming through Twitter or Google Plus.
all our peeps failed us tonight. I guess it's the day before holiday.
Everybody except
Yeah.
Che. Che hung in there.
Che is awesome. He even Google Plused us out or whatever and said, "Hey, we're live" and everything. So that was very kind,
Nice.
and I appreciate that. All right, well,
Most people are probably traveling.
yeah, I guess whatever excuses. I'm not going anywhere. I may go somewhere tomorrow. I may go see the fireworks, and I'm going to see Terminator. Other than that, I have nothing to do.
Cool.
All right. Well, since we pretty much exhausted our supply of knowledge and beer for this, should we go ahead and say goodnight?
Yes.
Yeah. Before we do, though,
Mhm.
a couple of quick, I guess, programming notes.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this coming Thursday, we are interviewing Stuart Broman, the head brewer of Brewdog, on Pints and Quarts. So really looking forward to that.
Awesome.
And next Friday style, for Friday Night Hangout, we are celebrating Dogfish Head beers. So, and that, I'm looking forward to that. You have so many different things to choose from there.
They're one of my favorites.
Yeah, last week we did Stone, which I unfortunately missed because my cable modem decided to stop working.
Yeah, I missed too. The funny thing is I had a Stone that I missed.
Yeah, I went and bought beers for it, but ended up just drinking them anyway.
Well, that's generally the thing to do with beer. That's a good
Mhm.
idea. When you have a beer, drink it.
Yep.
Well,
But yeah, so that's next week. I'm really especially looking forward to Stuart from Brewdog. That should be pretty interesting.
too. I'm so excited for when we start getting more Brewdog beer over here.
Yeah, well, with their new, they're opening up that U.S. location. Is it, I think, in Ohio somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there was an article on the Full Pint where Anchor Brewing right now helps with their wholesaling and all that stuff. And I think Anchor is going to basically use their distribution footprint for Brewdog once Brewdog's here and brewing domestically. So I'm hoping that means wherever Anchor beer is, Brewdog will be too. So.
Well, that would be nice. Then it'd go through Market of Choice. I could get some of that.
I know.
Yeah,
I would get some.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping that arrangement actually is going to be. So.
It'll be interesting.
We've had a partnership for a while.
It'll be interesting to see if they just mirror the beers they already do in the UK, or if they have a different line for the American brews.
Yeah, I'm curious too. See.
I totally anticipate new and interesting.
I hope so, especially since they like to use local ingredients. We've seen from their show they use whatever is available. So I don't know what ingredients they have in Ohio. River water.
Well, they're welcome to Willamette Valley hops, that's for sure.
So maybe they'll have some hops. I don't know. But I hope they have new beers. I mean, I can get some of their beers at Total Wine, but I would like to see new, like, American-inspired beers over here. That way, if we have any UK buddies, we could trade with them and get their Brewdogs, and we can give them our Brewdogs.
And it'd be also interesting to see, I imagine they'll get into collaborations at some point with American breweries here. That'd be pretty cool to see what they can come up with.
Haven't they done that a few times on their shows?
Yeah, a lot of their shows they do that stuff, but it'd be pretty cool to see like more than just like one barrel worth or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see it actually bottled.
Yeah.
You know, like Stone Brewdog or whatever. Stone Dog. They could call it that, Stone Dog.
Stone Dog Cinnamon IPA.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm still talking about cinnamon IPA, guys.
You know what? I would love a cinnamon IPA. That sounds awesome. I bet the cinnamon would kind of tamper down any bitterness that might be there.
Probably, or enhance it.
Maybe. Yeah, it would. I would hope it would really just take the bite out of the bitterness, though. Yeah, as I said before, I'm not big on the bitterness, so anything that can smooth over the bitterness is a win in my book. All right. Well, all right. We're gonna say goodnight. Anything else?
No, just that you can find us on craftbeernation.org, and then from there jump out to any of our social media platforms. All right. Other than that, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Everybody, cheers. Happy hybrids.